Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Action Coach here in Birmingham, one of our live Lunch and Learn webinars. It's great to have you with us. We are broadcasting on Facebook. We're also on the Zoom platform. And of course, we are also on the LinkedIn video platform as well. So it's great to have you all with us. I can see we've got one or two participants already logged in onto our Zoom platform. We haven't got the speaker we're expecting today, which was all about bookkeeping, last minute change of plan, but you've got me instead. So there's a bonus to everything, and what a way to start a Monday. If you have any questions, please do put them in the Q&A box, on the comments box, on the stream, whichever platform you're on, and I'll do my very best to answer them. It's also great to see we've got James and Claire already joining us. Great to have you with us. So what am I going to be talking about today? Well, actually, what I want to talk about and tell you a bit more about is our 6 steps platform here at Action Coach, our 6 steps platform to building a better business, the steps you can take to focus on in your business to get where you want to be. And it's a proven and tested formula that we've been using here in Action Coach for many years, over 30 years since Brad Still first put it together. So let's explore that together. And if you have any questions, please do put them in the Q&A box on Zoom, on Facebook, or on LinkedIn. A bit about Action Coach, first of all. We are a coaching organization. People often say to me, well, Steve, what is coaching all about? And the best way I can describe that to you is it's a bit like any of the football teams at the moment in the Euros, or Eddie Jones there on the screen is the coach for the England rugby team. Any of the coaches associated with any football team, any sports personality, any singer, any actor, they're not going to do the job for you. What they're going to do is give you the advice, the support, and hold you to account so that you can do the job for yourself. And that's what coaching in business is all about as well. It's about supporting business owners across Birmingham, in my case, to help them be their very best, to help you grow the business, to get more from your team, to get more time, and ultimately to generate more money. And the 6 steps process we're going to look at today is all about that. I'm not going to go through this in huge levels of detail. I could do a 3-hour masterclass on this, if not longer. We've got 40 minutes or so, but I'm just going to pick out some of the key areas. What I would say is if you are listening to us and perhaps you've been to one of our webinars before, I've always talked about the opportunities, that positive mindset that's really important as a business owner, how you can stay above the line, how you can make sure you take ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And on the screen right now is a slide that we put together here at Action Coach Birmingham about 18 months ago, at the very beginning of the first lockdown. It seems a long time ago now, doesn't it? That first lockdown. And many business owners I was working with and talking to at that time, and still am, were really, sort of quite anxious about what that would mean for them and what do they look at first. And we didn't know the timescales at that stage, but we said, well, let's break this down into sections, into chunks, and look at the different phases of what what might be coming forwards. And that first phase is always about lockdown. It's about how can I look after myself, my business, and of course my staff. What decisions do I need to make sure I take so that we are financially stable? And then a very unique opportunity for many business owners, and all the business owners I've been working with over the last 18 months, is that opportunity to think, well, where am I going? What's my purpose? And we had a great webinar with James last week. If you haven't seen it, please go to our YouTube channel. It's all about purpose. What is my purpose? What's my vision? What's my mission? And in fact, I'm just about to put a new blog on our social media channels all about purpose. So please do go and read that. But it's an opportunity for business owners to think to themselves, what is it I want to do in the business? What do I need to do to grow my business? What do I need to do to take my business forward? How can I pivot my business? What marketing strategies have worked? What haven't? And so it's a great opportunity for business owners to think, about themselves, about the skills. What skills do I need to acquire to take my business going forwards? I have seen so many business owners over the last 12 months, if not slightly longer, really looking at their digital skills, looking at what digital skills they need in a different way of running their business, of taking their business forwards online, and making the most of social media and the web, and that digital marketing aspect. So it's a great opportunity for business owners in that phase 2 to think about the skills themselves and their teams. And then as we started to see the restrictions ease the first time, the second time, and the third time, it was that warming up phase, that thinking about how can I make sure that when that race starts, I'm at the beginning ready to compete and be my very best, and for my business to be in the very best shape it can. So I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but there was a structure and there was a process. And there's a process we've all been through in lockdown. It's been difficult. I don't underestimate how difficult it's been for all of us, ourselves here at Action Coach included in that. We've all had to think about how we can do things differently. But one of the main things we've been working through here at Action Coach over the last 12 months with business owners is how to create a commercial profitable enterprise that works without you. How can you have a business that is commercial, that's got the basic fundamental structures in that business to help it be a commercial enterprise? How can we then, once we've got a structure in place, start to fill that lead funnel, start to make sure it's profitable, that we're making money from every opportunity? How can we then look at the structure in terms of the team, in terms of the leverage, and make sure we're making it an enterprise that is fit for purpose, and ultimately a business that can work without you, designing a business that works without you. And we're going to look in the next sort of 40 minutes at how we do that. So starting off at the very oh, actually, I've just got a question coming from Claire. Do we have to follow this process exactly? Claire, I'm just going to start talking about the mastery level, which is where I'd recommend any one of us start. It's broken down into 4 foundation stones. We have the destination, we have time, we have delivery, and we have financial. Now, it's a great question, Claire. Do we have to start at destination? Well, often where I start is with time. And that's not because destination is any less important, but when I speak to many business owners, the thing that they are struggling with most is time and lack of time. So I always start, it's a great place to start. I don't always start there, but it's a great place to start in terms of helping business owners get some quick wins and get to generate time to then look at some of the aspects. But let's look at time. You know, are you somebody who finds at the end of a week, at the end of a day, you're thinking, oh, goodness me, where's the week gone? It just seems to have flown by and I haven't got everything done that I plan to do. Are you somebody who's spending a lot of time at the moment working in the business rather than on the business? And when I working in masterclass, I often talk to my clients about the captain of a boat. As a captain of your ship, of your boat, are you the captain that's down in the engine rooms, hands on deck, supporting the crew to keep the boat going, to stoke the engines, doing the selling, doing the making? Are you having enough time as a captain on the bridge of your boat, on the bridge of your business, plotting the destination, looking at where you're going, looking for the opportunities and the threats, and looking at where you've been and making sure that you're in control of that vessel? We here at Action Coach would recommend that all our business clients, all our clients, spend at least 5 hours every single week working on the business as well as in the business. So that is your marketing, looking at your planning, looking at the finances, looking at the systemization. That's all working on your business, not in the business. And some quick tips around that is perhaps having a default diary, having a structured diary that works for you and your team. One for you and one for the team. So when I say a default diary, do you have time carved out for sending your invoices out? Do you have time carved out for reviewing, testing, and measuring your marketing strategy? Do you have time carved out specifically for working with clients, for planning with your clients? So a default diary, a diary that's structured, that works for you. And absolutely, I agree. The question I get asked the most, and I can see Jason just putting it in the comments box, you need flexibility. I completely agree, Jason. Absolutely, you need flexibility. If you've got a structured diary, you've got something to aim for. If you don't have any sort of structure in your diary, you're going to end up as that person I referred to at the beginning, at the end of the week. Where has my time gone? It just seems to have flown by. If you are that person, the other thing I can really highly recommend is perhaps doing a time log, doing a time analysis. And I've done this with teams that I've managed in previous roles. So taking your team and taking your own week, maybe a couple of days or a whole week, and in half an hour chunks, just note down what you're doing. Are you spending time talking to clients? Are you spending time writing bids? Are you spending time developing new products or services? Are you spending time doing roles that really you feel you've got people you should be paying them to do? Are you spending your time responding to emails? Are you firefighting, responding to those inquiries, those phone calls that are coming in? Are you making outgoing phone calls? So having an understanding of where your time is going is really, really important. One of the biggest BFOs, that's a blinding flash of the obvious for myself when I joined Action Coach, was that I just didn't value time enough myself, and I hadn't in the past. That's for sure. I had been one of those people who was saying yes to everything and no to nothing. I was giving my time away as if it had absolutely no value at all. And Glenn, my colleague, said to me, well, would you do that with your bank balance? Would you go out and dish out £50 notes into the street with no question and just chuck them up in the air, and whoever wants to catch my money can take it and use it as they want? Of course I wouldn't do that. Yet I was being prepared to do it with time. I was giving it all away. And in hindsight, that that really had significant consequences in my life. By giving time to everybody else, I really wasn't focusing on the things that were most important, both to me and to my family at the time. So value time. Put a value on the time that you have. Time is a great leveler. Whether you are Her Majesty the Queen, whether you are Elton John the Queen, whoever you are in life, we all have the same amount of time. Glenn, Julie, myself, Roz, all of us here at Action Coach have the same amount of time this morning, every single week, to do our roles and to undertake our roles. As a business owner, it's how we make the most efficient use of that time. So it's a great leveler. It's how we as business owners make best use of that. Making sure you've got some SMART goals. I have a session with all my clients on a Friday at 4 o'clock, making sure they've got some really clear goals in their diary for the following week and holding them to account for the goals they've held this week, they've had in place. So making sure you've got a clear focus. And why do I do it on a Friday? So again, thinking about time, they can switch off a bit at the weekends. So they're not working on a Sunday afternoon. They're not working all through Saturday. They have got some time and they're making best use of that Monday morning. They're eating that frog. They're doing that thing that is most important on a Monday morning. So understanding the value of time, thinking how you can make best use of your time, and having some quick wins such as goal sheets, daily focus sheets, having a default diary, reviewing how you've used your time. It's a really great place to start in our 6 steps process. So if you've got any questions on time, please do put them in. A lovely question coming from Jason there. He'll have some of my £50 notes. Jason, no, I'm not giving any more away, but we'd love to have a conversation with you about how we can make best use of your £50 notes and make best use of your time. So it'd be good to connect. For those of you who are just joining us a few minutes late, so just say we're talking about Action Coach's 6 steps to building your business today. Please do put any questions on our Facebook link, on our Zoom link, or into our LinkedIn page as well. We're broadcasting live on all 3 platforms. I'm just checking the Q&A in Zoom as I say that to you. So we've talked a bit about time. The next area I'm going to go back to is destination. So the next area, 4 pillars, the 4 cornerstones of any business, is all about destination. So when I first meet a client, I often say to them, well, why did you start your business? What was it you were looking to achieve when you start your business? And as we sort of provoke that conversation, I'll come back down to sort of maybe freedom, maybe choice. There are those business owners who were forced to through perhaps redundancy. But when they started their business, when we started our business here at Action Coach, we had a vision and they had a vision. And I'm sure you've got a vision as to why you started your business. There was something you wanted to achieve. You had this vision of your business in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. And when I've had that conversation, my next question is always, well, what's the journey been like? Has it been as you planned? Have you taken some turns and have you gone sort of perhaps diverted off track, or have you deliberately taken a different route over the last year, the last 5 years, the last 30 years? No matter how long you're in business, how has that journey been? And are you still holding on to that same vision, or is the vision now different to when you first started? And there are some business owners out there that when I ask that question, they realize their vision has changed, but they've not written it down. They've not verbalized it. They've not made it clear both to themselves and to the team that they're working with. So what is your vision? And is your vision clearly accessible to others in your team? Know what the vision is you have for the business. Is it a vision that you are so passionate about that other people want to come and join you in delivering that? So your vision is what the end product, what the top of that mountain looks like. The mission, of course, is how are you going to get there? How are you going to go about delivering that vision of the business? So that's your vision and your mission. The last of that, those 3 points there, is about your culture. What is your culture in the organization going to be like? What is it going to be like to work for stevecharman.com? What is it going to be like? What is it going to be like to work for Action Coach? What is it like to work for the ice cream manufacturer down the road? Now, many of us will have applied for jobs in the past at some stage in our careers, and there is always that section in the job ad that says what it's like to work for XYZ company. Do you know what that is going to be like for your business? Do you have that written down? Is that clearly articulated so that you can share it with others, so that your team can understand and know what it's like? Either your potential team or your current team, do you have that clearly written down? It's something then that you can both use to attract new talent to your business. You can hold yourself accountable and you can hold your team account to it as well. It's a great way to articulate your business. Some of the points of culture here at Action Coach are education, accountability, fun. They're words that we can use to describe the business. So what words would you use to describe your business? And then alongside having your vision, your mission, it's about having a clear business plan for you in the business and for your business. So I often ask many business owners, and I think 94% of business owners I talk to about business plans haven't got one or haven't got an up-to-date business plan. It's so important. You need to be part of that 5 or 6% that have got a business plan. There are those business owners that will bring out a business plan off the shelf and blow the dust off it. And it's been sitting there since they put the application into the bank or the building society 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, but it's not been used since. So having a detailed business plan, something that you can refer to and is an active part of owning and running your business. Breaking that down, do you know what you're doing for the next 90 days? Do you have a plan for your business for the next 90 days for you and the team, so that you all know that you're working towards those common goals? You have those common areas of the business that you're focused on. You know, day by day, week by week, what those strategies, those tasks, and those activities that you need to do to complete are, so that you're working towards that bigger goal, that longer term vision, whether it's a 90-day vision, a three-month vision, or whether it's a year or 5-year vision. It's about having that destination, that plan in place to work to. And lastly, the most fun bit that, or the most enjoyable part that I do with my clients is then looking at sketching out the business when it's finished. So what structure do you think your business will be like in 5 years' time? What roles might you have in the business? Who might you need to employ? Who might you have working alongside you? What might you have outsourced and what might you be doing in-house? What does a business look like when it's finished? So there's destination. So I've talked about destination. I've talked about time. 2 key areas. Got a great comment from Ahmed there, talking about culture. He's going to go away and choose. Great idea, Ahmed. Go away, Ahmed. Go away and just think about those 3 points of culture. Those 3 words that you can use to describe your business. As Ahmed is saying, he can then use those in his elevator pitch when talking about the business. Great idea. So it is, you can see how destination, how all these different areas of the business can be used and are interlinked in so many different ways. The third of these foundation stones is all about delivery. So who are the very best at delivering a great system? And I'm sure you can think of many examples. I'm just seeing if there's any on Facebook there. Yeah, so we've got Costa. Yes, I knew it wouldn't be long. Somebody has actually said McDonald's. Great. So that's the example I always use in my workshop. So if you go to McDonald's in France, if you go to McDonald's in Washington, if you go to McDonald's in, I'm trying to think of other examples now, in Madrid, in Scotland, in London, you will get your burger cooked in exactly the same way because they are following the same set of guidelines. Their grill at the end of the day will be cleaned in exactly the same way. The way they operate their new ordering system is the same in most restaurants, where you've got the touch screen and then you go and collect. They will trial it in some areas if it's a new process, but then they'll roll it out to all restaurants. They have great systems. Everything from cleaning the grill to cleaning the toilets. Everything from the time at which they switch their menus around, the range of food they offer might vary slightly, but generally the way they cook their food, the way they operate their restaurants is the same. What is it? It's a great system. It's a really well system that's documented down into a guide, into a process that can then be followed by anybody. That's why at McDonald's you have young teenagers at 16 working behind the counter, and you have 19, 20, 21-year-olds doing acting as shift managers or running a restaurant, because what they're doing is they're following a really well-rounded, really well-rehearsed system, a process that's working well in their business. So what processes do you have well documented in your business? How easy is it to buy from you in your business? How good are you at making sure you've got systems, the same quality every single time? Now, in between jobs a number of years ago, I was made redundant and I went to work for Debenhams for a number of months. And during that time, we had mystery shoppers come in to check out how well we were delivering the level of service and the expectations of the business. Now, it's been a sad to hear so many retail stores and businesses that haven't survived the pandemic. But what they were doing at that time, and it's common practice throughout all retail, is checking for standards of delivery, making sure that processes were being followed. So testing and measuring for consistency across the organization, across the business. So if I was to call you today and inquire about your service, would I get the same response and the same level of service or the same product today as I would do if myself or one of my colleagues did the same process next week or next month? Systemization is a great way to plan for consistency. I always use the example here of making a cup of tea. How many steps are there for making a cup of tea? Let me just give a moment to see if we can get some response in there. How many steps do you think there might be to make a cup of tea? Yeah, I got one there for 6 steps, 20 steps, 2 steps. I think 2 is a bit ambitious, but there we go. 40 steps. Well, let me tell you, in my workshops and masterclasses, we've had everything from 5 to 155 steps to make a cup of tea. And if you think about it, if you break down every step you take to make that cup of tea, I'm going to push my chair back, I'm going to swing round, I'm going to step up, I'm going to open the door, I'm going to walk to the kitchen, I'm going to open the kitchen drawer, lift up a teaspoon. You can see how we can log that process. We can understand that process for making a cup of tea. And once you understand that process, it's then how can we simplify it? How can we make it as user-friendly, as effective and efficient as possible? So, for example, if I was making the cups of tea in a cafe, I might choose to put sugar sachets on the table rather than asking each individual customer, would they like sugar in their tea, and then finding the sugar to put in the tea. So there's different ways of making sure we can systemize and be as effective as possible in the delivery of our business. So systemization, looking at how we can deliver the business consistently, effectively, every single time. And the last of my 4 foundation stones is all about finances. We've got some great questions coming in. Please do keep them coming in. So finances is all about understanding the basic numbers of your business. Now, I'm absolutely astounded at how many business owners I've come across in my time with Action Coach who are running their business without any clear dashboard. Would you get in your car, ladies and gentlemen, and drive it down the road if your speedometer wasn't working? Would you get in your car and drive it down the road if your fuel gauge wasn't working or your warning lights weren't working? It is so important to make sure we all understand, you as a business owner understands the basics of your business, the basic numbers of your business. How much is a question I ask every one of my clients. How much do you need to make this week to stay afloat? How much is in your business account today? Do you know what receipts need paying? What invoices are due? Do you know the basic numbers? Do you know what a cash flow forecast is? I've been saying to all my clients throughout lockdown, throughout the pandemic, 3 things you need in your business: a business plan, a marketing plan, which I'll come on to shortly, and finally, a cash flow forecast. You need to know what money's coming in and what money's going out of your business on a regular basis. You need to know what bills need to be paid when. You need to make sure your invoicing is up to date and you're expecting and you're waiting for that money to come in, and you know roughly when it is going to come in. So your bank balance is always in the black and not in the red. Do you know what your break-even points are in the business? Do you know which products or services are more effective and more financially viable in your business? Do you know what a balance sheet is and when did you last look at it in your business? So it's really important to understand the simple basic finances of your business, knowing your numbers on a regular basis, and not just knowing them, but reviewing them day by day, or at least week by week, to understand what numbers are going, what money's coming in, what money's going out. And my last point on this is to have those numbers visible, or some of them, to share with the team, to motivate and enthuse your team as well, so they know what targets need to be hit in the business. So the 4 foundation stones there of business: your destination, your time, your delivery, and your finances. And the reason I keep referring to these as the foundation stones, they are the basic principles which you need to have in place, the basic structures in your business. It's a bit like filling a bath with water from the tap. If there are holes in your bath, if your plug isn't quite working, if you have a pipe that is leaking, or a crack more seriously in the bath itself, there is no point in bringing more business in if the business itself isn't structurally sound, if it can't hold that water that you're filling the bath with. So destination, a plan for your business. Time, understanding and valuing time and making sure you are being effective or most effective with the use of time that you have. Systemization, understanding how people can buy from you, how easy it is for people to buy from you, and you've got a system of consistency in your business. And finances, understanding the numbers in your business as well. So the 4 mastery areas, if you have any questions, please do keep them coming in. I'm going to very briefly just look at niche today. We're not going to go any further than niche, but we are going to look at niche. Perhaps we'll come back and do another webinar another day on leverage, team, and synergy. But niche is another phrase for marketing, sort of, what is the focus of your business? What area of your industry are you going to focus on? You could be everything to everyone, but actually in business, you need to focus. And the first area there is USP, unique selling point and guarantee. Do you know what your unique selling point is? Do you know how you compare to your competitors? There is no point in competing on the same ground. You need to compete on what makes you different. How can you stand out from your competitors? What is it that you do that they don't do? Or what is it that you do that's better, to a higher standard? Is your product something that's not available somewhere else? Is your service delivered in a different way? Is it something about you? But what is it that makes you different to your competitors? And when did you last do your research? Do you know what your competitors are doing? Do you know what price point they're offering their services or products at? Are they still operating? Do your research and make sure you continually research your marketplace, your industry on a regular basis, understanding what your unique selling point is. My second question to you is, do you have a guarantee? Is there something in your business that you can guarantee to help win new clients and new business? Here at Action Coach, we say that if you come onto one of our one-to-one coaching schemes and you don't make the money back after 9 months, on the bottom line in your profits, we'll give you every penny back. That's a great guarantee, isn't it? We've never had to use it because we are so confident that all of our clients improve and grow the business when they work with us here at Action Coach. But I'd love to tell you just a very brief story of another business we were coaching 12 months ago. Excuse me. Was a roofing contractor, and they started losing business, either losing on their bidding or losing their clients to other organizations, to other competitors. And so we said, well, let's sit down with some of your clients or some of those bids that you've lost out on and find out just why. What is it that's prevented you from winning that business over? And we did some research, we sent questionnaires out, we had conversations, and we found that 3 things came out of that bit of research. One was about the appearance of the staff doing the roofing jobs. Either their belts weren't done up, so you see more of their backside than you really wanted to. They looked scruffy. They didn't look professional in the work they were doing. Secondly, was the language that they were using on site. There was the odd swear word, and it just wasn't appropriate for for a professional environment with young children around, especially. And the third one, which I can certainly link into when I've had builders do work at my house, is about the mess that sometimes they leave behind as well. Not all builders, but some builders leave the mess. So we came up with a guarantee, and we said this. We said, if you contract our roofing company to do the job for you, if we don't come to work in our uniforms, if any of our staff are heard swearing on site, or we leave the site in a messier state than when we found it, guess what? Not only will we refund every penny you've paid to us, but we'll pay for the competitor of your choice to finish the job for you. Wow, what an amazing guarantee that is. Now, what did they do to help make that work? Well, first of all, as I've indicated, they bought all their staff new uniform. And a condition of working for them was they came to work every day in their uniform. So smart, presentable, representing the company in a professional way. They also ensured that the sites were cleared up every single time, and they had a conversation about appropriate language. Now, in having those conversations, they also said to each of their employees, if you complete your job, if you complete this job and every job, as we've asked, as per our guarantee, as we've asked you to, and as we've indicated to our clients, we will give you a 4.5% pay increase for that job. That's great, isn't it? So the staff are enthused and encouraged to comply with the new regulations and working practices. Now, what they also did is they then started promoting this guarantee, winning new business, and as a result, over the next couple of months, put their prices up by 6%. So a 6% price increase, paying their staff more, but they're winning more business, and they're still using that guarantee today. If our staff don't come to work with a uniform, appropriately dressed, if they swear on site or they leave a mess, we will refund your money and pay for your competitor to do the job. They are winning business on that basis. So it's a great guarantee, and they use that in all of their marketing. All of their marketing strategies, they use that one guarantee. It's on the front of their website as well. So what guarantee could you use in your business to help win new clients and new leads? Great, some great examples there, and do share either now or later on the Facebook feed any guarantees that you've been using in your business. The next box along there is all about lead generation. Do you have a written marketing plan in your business right now? And do you test and measure it? Do you know what's working and what's not working and why? Another great example, a little story. I was working with a client about 18 months ago, before lockdown. A garage in the centre of Birmingham did MOTs and servicing, and they were spending a lot of money on a particular marketing strategy, advertising on the back of ticket machines in car parks, MOT at a guaranteed price. I said to him, is it working? And the question he said to me is, I don't really know, Steve. I don't know if it's working or not. And I said, well, how come we don't know? Because we've done no research. And when we drill down, the question I was wanting them to answer is, they don't ask anybody. They've never asked a customer that golden question. How did you hear about us? So guess what? Every time somebody phones up for a car service or an MOT now, the first thing they do, or the last thing they do on that phone call, but before the phone gets put down, is, before you go, would you mind just asking, how did you hear about us today? And they started doing that. They had a simple tally chart beside the phone, and very quickly realized that most of their inquiries were either coming word of mouth or coming from Google. So the very expensive marketing strategy of the ticket machines in the car parks was straight away stopped. And that money was ploughed into search engine optimization for Google and networking. So a great example of making sure you test and measure your marketing strategies. Dip your toe in the water, try different things, try new strategies, test and measure, see if it works. And then make sure you adjust or update your marketing strategy accordingly. Because ultimately what you're trying to do from your marketing strategy is generate leads to go into a database so that you can then have regular communication with those clients. Never expect, I mean, it does happen, but never expect it always to happen to win the client on the first point of conversation. You may have to have 2 or 3 conversations before you win that client over. So what are you doing in your marketing right now? I always talk about marketing as being a bit like a table. For a table to work really well, you need to have 4 legs, at least 4 legs. Yes, you can have single pedestal tables, but I can guarantee from a personal experience, when you put your weight on them, the coffee falls onto your lap or the chips fall onto your floor. A table needs 4 good legs to be working and to be a solid table. And your marketing strategy is the same. Why do you need 4 legs? Well, you don't want to be putting all your eggs into one basket or all your legs into one basket. You want to make sure you've got different options at different times to market to different segments and to different people. So having a marketing strategy, you've got different strategies, a marketing plan, you've got different strategies at different times, works really, really well. Conversion rate. Do you know how many of your sales pitches or how many of your prospects you win over on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis? Are you measuring that? Do you know? It's really important to know and to measure it. Have those sales targets visible in your office so that you can hold yourself account to them and your team can hold you to account and you can hold them to account as well. Having those common goals goes back to destination, doesn't it? Having that those common goals is really important to motivate yourself and the team. And also having a clear process for your sales strategy. So from that first inquiry through to payment, what is the process? What process do people follow to buy from you in your business? How many times do you have a conversation with them? Is everything self-service online? Do they make an inquiry and then you phone them back? If I was to phone you today or phone you tomorrow, would I get the same experience? Would you be asking me the same questions? Do you have scripts or bullet points or a process in your business to take you through the sales process the same way every single time? Test and measure your conversion strategies. Understanding what works best for you in your business. Try different things and get a process that works for you. But the most important thing is to record that conversion rate so you can measure it and then try different things to increase it. The same with your leads. Try different marketing strategies, test and measure so that you can increase it. So we've talked about USP and guarantee, we've talked about leads, and we've talked about conversion rate. I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to very quickly rattle through the next couple. Then I want to show you how I bring all this together. So the average spend. Now, when I was a young lad, my parents took me to McDonald's up in the Midlands in Leicester, where I grew up. And the question they would always ask me when I go to McDonald's is, would you like fries with that? And then as a student, many years ago now, it'd be, would you like to go large? Or would you like an extra value meal? Now, McDonald's have been doing that for years. Now, I frequent now Costa and the coffee shops more than I do McDonald's. But the one question I always get asked when I go into a coffee shop, and particularly when I go into Costa, is, would you like to try our special Colombian roast? What are they doing? Every time I go in there, they're trying to increase the average sale. Do you know what your average sale is? And what can you do to upsell? What can you do to increase that average sale? Another client of ours who's got a sari shop in Birmingham has been and bought some jewelry in colours that match their most popular sari colours. So that when they're buying a sari, they can say, oh yes, I've got some jewelry that would just go well with this outfit. What can you do to upsell? Now, we've all been and taken out car insurance and home insurance. And more often than not, when you take out your car insurance, you'll get asked, and when does your home insurance due up? Do you have life insurance, Mr. Charman? So we're being asked that question all the time. Everywhere we go, other businesses are trying to upsell or cross-sell. So what is it you can do in your business to do that as well? Another great example is a little hardware shop in the village where I live. And every time I go in, I might go in for a tin of paint, or I might go in for some masking tape. And they'll say to me, Mr. Charman, you're decorating. Here is a checklist of everything you might need when you're decorating a room in your home. Great bit of service from the store owner and their staff. But what are they doing? They're trying to upsell and cross-sell to me. They are hoping that by looking like this, I'll say, oh yes, I need a new roller, or my brushes. I'll buy some brushes while I'm here, or I might need a dust sheet, so that I go away with everything I need, but I've gone away making a bigger sale for them than perhaps I would have done without that technique in use. So checklists are a great way, great way of upselling. And also, I remember when I bought my first car, and I went into the garage, my first new car, should I say, and there was a list of the different models, and it very clearly differentiated what was available on each model. So on the L, I had power steering. On the LX, there might have been electric windows. On the GLX, there might have been, sort of a CD player instead of a tape cassette player. I'm going back a long time now, as you can tell. But it's about the different models having different spec and understanding the differences. So when you're going in to talk to a client for the first time, you've got a range of products with different offerings that you can upsell and cross-sell. And sometimes you might need to downsell. Rather than losing an opportunity or losing a client, it's better to have a range of products where you can upsell, downsell, and cross-sell on. That's all about, over time, increasing the average spend of your clients. Now, as well as the average spend, we may well want to increase the number of times they buy from you. So I go back to my slide that I had on at the beginning, and along the bottom there are those words: consistent and constant communication with staff, suppliers, existing customers, and prospects. It is so important, so important, that whether in a pandemic or not, that you have regular contact with your clients. When did you last contact your existing client base? Just to touch base, to say hello, to talk to them, to build that relationship. Sales has changed so much in the last 18 months. It is now so much more relationship based. Build that relationship with your clients. Turn them from a client into a raving fan through regular communication, through talking to them, through having special offers, through having special, maybe a loyalty scheme. We all know what a loyalty scheme is these days. I've got a number of probably 10 or 15 loyalty cards in my wallet. I'm sure you have as well. So loyalty schemes, stamp schemes, a members club, special offers. How often could they buy from you? Have you asked yourself that question? Have you gone back to your clients and said, what else can I do? I've got special offers, I've got this, I've got that. Trying to increase the average transaction of your clients. And then the last of those green boxes is all about margin. It's all about understanding the margins of your products and services in your business. What's your net margin? What's your gross margin? Do you know those? I hope you do. And within a rough ballpark, you know those for each of your products or services. What is your most profitable activity? It may change at different times of the year. I go back to think about one of the plumbers, many plumber businesses, but one of the plumbers we've been coaching, and boilers coming into end of July to September is the most profitable part of the business. It's the time when people want to think about their central heating system, they have a focus on it, and they can make a lot of money on installing a new boiler. Certainly a lot more money than installing a new kitchen. That's not to say they wouldn't do other activities and offer other services, but if installing boilers is the most profitable service they offer, then they want to make sure they have a focus on that, particularly in the autumn as people are thinking about that. So what is the most profitable business service or product you offer in your business? Now, all of this is about that commercial. The commercial is all about those 4 areas of mastery: the destination, the time, the delivery, and the finances. Profitable is all about that marketing. How can we make sure, once your business is up and running, that it's profitable? Now, there's a great way to bring this together. It's called our 5 ways. I just want to take 5 minutes to explain it before we finish. So most businesses, when I first talk to them, most business owners know how many customers they have, what their revenue is, and how much profit they make. They are all just results. They're all results of other things. And that's for us at Action Coach where it gets really exciting. Let me explain a bit more. So I've just talked about conversion rate, lead generation, number of transactions, average sale. So our number of customers, for example, comes from the number of leads we generate, timesing that by our conversion rate, which is why it's so important to know your conversion rate in your business. That will give you the number of customers. We then take our number of customers and we times that by the number of transactions, and we times it by the average sale. And that, of course, gives us a revenue in our business. And then lastly, we take the revenue and times that by the profit margin, and that gives us our profit. Now, if we were to put some numbers in that, just to help explain it. So if in an average business, and of course, these numbers will vary depending on the business, on the service or the product that you offer. But if you had 4,000 leads in your business and you convert 25% of them, you'll get 1,000 customers. Of those 1,000 customers, if they buy twice a year and they each spend £100 a time, that's £200,000 worth of business or revenue coming into your business. Now, if you have a 25% profit margin, which is fairly common these days, you've got a £50,000 profit. Now, the reason I've talked about focusing on these areas in that niche level is your number of leads. If you can generate more leads by understanding, having a clear marketing plan, using your USP, using a great guarantee, looking at your marketing plan, having those 4 legs, looking at different marketing strategies in your business, if you can increase your leads by 10%, you've suddenly got another 400 leads in the business. If you then look at your conversion rate, look at your sales process, think about sales script, think about the touch points, think about how often you're speaking to your clients, convert your customers, increase that by 10% to 27.5, we've suddenly got another 210 customers. Now, if we can increase the number of transactions by talking to our existing customers, by looking at the range of products and services we have on offer, and increase our number of transactions from 2 to 2.2 by 10%, and we look at upselling and cross-selling and increase the average sale by 10% as well to £110, our revenue would have suddenly gone from 200,000 to 292,820. A huge increase just by looking at those different areas. And then lastly, if we look at our profit margin, talk to our suppliers, think about our overheads, our expenses in the business, and we can increase our profit margin by 10%. Instead of having a profit of £50,000, we've increased it by £30,525, and that 50p. What would you do with an extra £30,000 in your business? What opportunities would that provide you as a business owner today, or next week, or next year? A great opportunity just by focusing on those areas in your business. Thinking about the mastery first, the destination, the time, the delivery, and the finances. And then as we work up, thinking about those 5 ways, looking at our USP and our guarantee, which helps increase the number of leads, looking at our marketing strategy, thinking about our conversion rate, thinking about our sales process, thinking about the average spend, how we can increase that, how we can increase the number of transactions, and how we can reduce our overheads, and looking at our margin. Great ways to build a better business, step by step. And that's what working with Action Coach is all about. And that's what we believe every single one of our clients can do. So I hope that that's given you an insight into our 6 steps process here at Action Coach. Now, I said at the very beginning, I could talk to you about this for a lot longer, and I hope I have the opportunity to do so. I would love you to get in touch with me here at Action Coach, either by going to our website or by going to emailing birmingham@actioncoach.com. We do have a complimentary free masterclass, 6 steps business health check, where we go through this in a lot more detail. It's interactive with other business owners. Some of them have been in business for 30 years. Some of them have been in business for 30 days. But they all have one thing in common. They have an aspiration and a desire to do things differently, to learn from each other, and to grow their business. And that's completely free for a couple of hours, where we can go into this in a lot more detail. If you're interested in doing that, in joining me for one of our free business health checks, then please do get in touch. My contact details are on the screen in front of you right now. We'd love you to join us. You may be that next step ahead and think, well, actually, I know what I want to do, but actually I need some support in actually helping to do it. I need some accountability. Well, for you, our 30X program may well be of interest. That's 30 videos. I said that Action Coach has been going 30 years, and these are proven systems and processes. We've been going for 30 years. We've put a lot of our experience and Brad Sugar's experience into 30 videos, half an hour each, that you can work through in your own time. 30 minutes, you can do 30 minutes a day. You can do a couple of videos a week, entirely up to you how quickly you want to work through it. But you could do it in 30 days working on your business, and it is just £30 to sign up. So that includes access to our 30 videos. It includes a weekly coaching call with myself or one of my colleagues and other business owners, all wanting to grow their business. You support and grow and learn from each other. I mentioned in this webinar about our 90-day plan and the importance of having a plan in your business. This includes helping you in a 3-hour workshop to put a 90-day business plan together. £30 to sign up, and there is no contract. So if that's something that would be of interest to you, then please do reach out to me. As I say, my contact details are on the screen. I just want to finish off by thanking all of you for being with me today. We've had a number of you on Zoom. It's been great to have you with us. I've had a number of people, quite a number on either LinkedIn or Facebook. Thank you for being with us. If you're watching this on YouTube in delay, then again, please do reach out to us, ask any questions, and I'll be happy to contact you and have that conversation and book you in for a complimentary coaching call. That'd be great to have that conversation with you. For now, I want to just say stay well and stay safe. Look forward to having you with us on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, we've got Annabella Urel, and we're going to talk about recruitment. So going from that solopreneur to recruiting into your business and building your team for the very first time. We'd love to have you with us. Thank you, Alex. He just said thank you in the chat box. It's great to have you with us, Alex. And I hope you've all got something from today. Please do stay well, stay safe. We'll see you Wednesday at 12 o'clock with Annabelle, all about recruitment. For now, have a great week and go and eat that frog. That one thing you've been putting off over the weekend, you've been putting off for the last week. Make sure you eat that frog and get it done today. But for now, stay well, stay safe. Have a great week.